Well, hello there, Adam Bazalgette, founder of Scratch Golf Academy. Today's subject, how to stop hitting the ground behind the golf ball. You can hit fat or thin shots if you do that. I'll show you the one thing you really have to get in place before you can solve this, then the two things you need to do in order to solve it, of course, with drills and images. Very briefly, if you're new to the channel, would love it if you'd subscribe, helps us build momentum. Also check out the Scratch Golf Academy app at the App Store next time you're there. Lots of fun stuff there I think you'd enjoy. So as I'll show you momentarily, the landing of your golf club ought to be like an airplane landing, very level and very shallow. So the opposite of what we just saw with the airplane, if the plane's coming in steeply, it actually has to lift the nose up in order not to crash. We don't want to have to do that with our golf swing. Two things, if it's coming in nice and shallow, we can commit to hitting the ground a bit without fear of digging in. And secondly, if it's coming in a nice shallow position, we can drive the bottom of the swing in front of the ball. Now certainly it is possible to create steepness as viewed from this angle. That would either be an excessively narrow angle or more typically possibly body pivot too tilted to the target, weight too far left, but it's much less common than the problem we see for here. So for brevity, let's look at the real cause of steepness most people have, then we'll keep moving. Okay, golf geometry for you. Here's my hand, picture a table there. This is always down, this is always brushing. So the more the club is coming from in front of you, the more steeply it is traveling down. We're not trying to swing miles out to right field in the case of a right-hander, not at all, but we are trying to come more from the side of the body, along the body lines, grazing to the back of the ball. The drills coming up will help you with this. So here's the little drill I'm going to recommend you do. Put a tee in the ground. I've leaned it slightly forward, about opposite my trail toe. I have a short iron, and I'm just going to chip a ball out there 40, 50 yards or so. Now this can get slightly in the way of your takeaway, so I'm going to start there. And hey, if you can clip that tee and then the ball, not only are you coming in shallow, but you're coming in pretty much on the right plane. Let's just try one here. That sort of a shot there. Doesn't really matter where the ball goes. Camp out with this a little bit. Don't just smash balls at full speed. And go back to this when you struggle. Now we're ready for our two variables to stop hitting behind it. So we'll use an LPGA player to demonstrate our two variables. Variable number one, always remember the club will reach true low point when it gets to vertical, and as you can see, that is nicely past the ball for her. Still a very level sort of approach in there. The other variable, and this assists that first variable, is the weight transfer. She shifts her hips, head's pretty still, but if you get that weight shift and you get the vertical point of the club beyond contact, you will not hit behind the ball. So the key to getting these two things correct is sequence, and that is to say your body, your lower body especially, has to lead and the club has to gather. What will happen if you thrust the club down like most people do? Two things you don't want to have. Number one, your wrists will straighten out. Number two, I promise you, as you thrust down, your weight will stay on this back leg. So here's a little drill for you. Take a towel, golf ball's there. Could you, easy to do, glide a bit and just brush the ground, pop the towel on that side of the ball? Couldn't be a whole lot easier. So take your trail hand, short iron, bottom of the club, relax and pretend it's the towel. Could you move a little bit? I might be moving a little too much, but just get the feeling of popping the ground over there, then put both hands on it, small scale, like that, and you'll start to get the feeling for how easy it is when you get the sequence right to get the bottom of the swing in front of the ball. Drill number two, we're going to add a degree of difficulty and play the ball more up off the front foot, a little bit harder to get there, but there's a pitfall, so let's watch it from this angle. Okay, before we look at this drill, just a quick word of encouragement. This isn't that difficult. It's not like trying to dunk a basketball or run a 10-second 100 meters. Anybody can do this if they'll be patient and work with it. It'd be super valuable to the average golfer if they would pretty consistently get the bottom of their swing past the ball. So take your time with these drills. Okay, here's our problem. Most of the time when the ball's up off the front toe, in order to get the bottom of the swing there, go back to what we said earlier about steepness. People come out to in because it does actually help move the bottom of the swing swing forward. We don't want that, of course. So I'm going to accentuate the target line with this alignment rod. Here's a head cover, could be a towel, folded up. So if I come out to in, I'll know because I'll hit it there. So I've got this ball up off the front foot, and I've got to get a little extra glide, a little extra feeling there. Reasonable contact. I certainly got the bottom of the swing forward. You can do this stuff. Hope this is encouraging to you. Hope this helps you. Leave a question or comment below. Get to as many as I can. Thanks.